Although it's no fun to see your favorite sports team fall behind, one of the most exciting things that can happen is when the luck starts to change and your team makes an unbelievable comeback. Seeing a team come from behind when it seems like it's all over is a rush. It doesn't always have to be the team you support. A rival faction can still give you some of the best sports you've ever seen. Let us look at some of the best sports comebacks which fans still remember like they were yesterday. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Number 1. During the AFC wildcard game, the Buffalo Bills were on their home turf playing the Houston Oilers, and they were losing badly. According to a New York Times article, it may have been because they were playing without their starting quarterback and one of their key linebackers. At halftime, the Bills were already down 28-3. Thousands of fans took the opportunity to leave the stadium. Their defensive coordinator was pissed. A player who was there said he exploded in the locker room, saying stuff that can't be repeated here. The string of profanity was so inspirational to the players that the Bills went right out and threw an interception that was returned for a 58-yard touchdown. Then they lost their star running back to injury. They were down 35-3 and looking bad. Then the Bills started their comeback. They scored a ridiculous 28 points in the third quarter, then another 7 in the fourth, with Houston tacking on 3 of their own. A field goal in overtime won the game 41-38 and put it in the record books, making it one of the greatest comebacks ever. Number 2. Liverpool FC's Champions League final win over AC Milan on May 25, 2005 would go down as the Miracle of Istanbul. The Champions League is where all the European clubs play each other, and since that continent has most of the best soccer teams in the world, it produces some great matches. But few ever came close to this. The Reds came into the game as underdogs, as Milan had one of the greatest players. Milan wasted no time proving their dominance, scoring within the first minute. Then they added another 2 goals by halftime. It was set to be the most one-sided final of all time. The bookies adjusted their odds and had Liverpool as a 100-1 long shot to win. Then the second half started and the miracle happened. 10 minutes in, Liverpool scored, and they would score another 2 times within 6 minutes. It was tied 3-3 at 90 minutes and went to extra time. As no one scored, it went to penalties. Liverpool would triumph 3-2 in the shootout and lift the trophy, shocking everyone. It is still remembered by Liverpool fans as they don't have many accomplishments after that. Number 3. The New England Patriots divide people fiercely. If you're from New England, you probably named your firstborn child either Tom or Brady. If you're from anywhere else, you probably hate them with the fire of 1,000 burning suns, which is what made their insane comeback against Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51 all the more notable. Everyone was either rooting for the Patriots or watching in horror as they did the impossible. It was one of the greatest big games of all time and the most historic Super Bowl according to the NFL, in part because of the 30 records that were broken or tied. It was also the first Super Bowl to be decided in overtime, and that was necessary because Tom Brady led his team to the biggest comeback the final had ever seen. At halftime, it seemed that the Patriots, who had won the Super Bowl 4 times in the past 15 years, were headed for a big loss. The Falcons led 21-3. Despite whatever speech Bill Belichick gave in the locker room, the second half looked to be even worse, with the Falcons scoring a touchdown and making it 28-3. It was, said the Bleacher Report, a write-off. The Falcons would not score for the rest of the game, and the Patriots surged. They clawed back 25 points to make it 28-28 at the end of the fourth quarter. A touchdown in overtime sealed it, and the nation was in shock. Number 4. The 2016 NBA finale was a rematch between the Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James had come home to his local club specifically to get them a title. Fans had been waiting a long time, and not just fans of basketball. No Cleveland-based pro team had won a championship of any kind since 1964. The Cavaliers had never won the NBA Finals. Now they'd had 2 chances in a row, and it looked like they were going to blow them both. Over the years, Cleveland teams had such famous losses, they got names. The Drive, the Fumble, and Michael Jordan's The Shot had all crushed their dreams. They'd lost the 2015 NBA Finals 4-2, and now they were down 3-1 to the Warriors in Game 4. No team in Finals history had ever overcome that deficit. But the Cavaliers mounted a comeback to win Games 5 and 6 in an amazing way. At the end of the third quarter in Game 7, the Warriors were barely ahead. A nail-biting fourth quarter saw LeBron injure his wrist, but in the end, the Cavaliers won 93-89, putting them in the record books. It's considered one of the most exciting finals in history, and for Cleveland, especially, it was a night to remember. Number 5. The America's Cup is the Super Bowl of sailing. It takes place over 3 weeks and is the best of 17 series. Since the fancy boats involved cost a ton of money to buy, maintain, and crew, the owners tend to be people like billionaire Larry Ellison, who in 2013 was watching his team head towards an epic loss. The USA was down 8-1 against Emirates team New Zealand. When the USA managed to claw back a race, making it 8-2, people thought it was cute since there was still no way the Oracle boat would win because the USA comeback effort was totally, utterly doomed. You know where this is going by now. In a story that the sailing community will recite over drinks for years to come, the USA team won an incredible 8 races in a row. The crowd for the last one was so huge that the officials had to turn people away. Larry Ellison got his win and an epic place in the history books, but he did spend $100 million to do it, so it's debatable if it was worth it. Number 6. The Toronto Maple Leafs met the Boston Bruins during the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2013. Whoever lost the best of 7 series was going home. Their dreams of competing for a trophy that year dashed. And while it came down to the final game, it looked like the Maple Leafs were going to walk away with it. They had come back from a 3-1 game deficit, which was their greatest success since the 1942 finals. 9 minutes into the third quarter of Game 7, the Leafs had a 4-1 lead. They just had to hope the Bruins didn't pull off one of the greatest comebacks of all time. They would be disappointed. It was an astonishing piece of work by the Bruins. Thanks to injuries, they were playing with some novices, and initially, it showed. But then they remembered scoring is an important part of hockey and started sinking goals. With 2 minutes left, with the score 4-2, they pulled their goalie. Astonishingly, they scored twice in the final 90 seconds to tie the game. The home crowd went insane. A goal in overtime saw the Bruins advance to the semifinals. Number 7. Game 1 of the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals was a tiny but fantastic comeback. The Knicks were leading 105-99, and while that's not the biggest lead ever, with just 18.7 seconds left, it would take someone crazy to think about a comeback. The Pacers' Reggie Miller got the ball and made a three-pointer with 16.4 seconds to go. Then, he managed to steal the Knicks' inbound pass and sink another three-pointer, all in 3.1 seconds. Suddenly, the game was tied. The Knicks players were shell-shocked and numb since the seemingly impossible had just happened. And it showed in their actions. A Knicks player was fouled, giving them the win on a platter again, but he missed both free throws. They got another chance when they got the rebound off the second shot, but then legend Patrick Ewing drilled a 10-footer. Someone stupidly fouled Reggie Miller, who did not miss his free throws, and within 9 seconds, the Pacers had gone from 6 behind to 2 ahead with 7.5 seconds left in the game. It is among one of the best basketball comebacks. Number 8. The emphatic scoreline after extra time does no justice to the drama that unfolded at Estadio da Luz as Atletico stood moments from winning the trophy for the first time only to end exhausted and well beaten. Diego Godin exploited an error from Real Madrid's goalkeeper Iker Casillas to give Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid a 1-goal lead, which they protected with fierce intensity until stoppage time. They had recently been crowned champions of the Spanish League, and it was their chance to become the European champions, biggest honor in club soccer. But when Sergio Ramos out of nowhere headed in the equalizer from Luka Modric's corner kick, all their dreams were shattered. Real ruthlessly completed the job with scoring 3 more goals in extra time and became the first club to claim the trophy 10 times, an achievement known as La Decima. What a way to win such a prestigious honor. That's our list of the 8 best sports comebacks ever. Which one is your favorite and the one you remember watching? Tell us in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.